live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Miq Strawn.
Okay, I'm actually gonna record this. I need to say this. I have to record this and put it on record.
Okay, here you go.
Skype is a horrible virus that nobody should ever digest or ingest.
I absolutely agree with you. Almost every everything that, because I do is, people call me and I do podcasting all the time, right? And it has got to be the lowest common denominator. There's Discord. Facebook has like their own app that's better. All these apps, there's so many things out there that are better than it.
Well, I need to switch up then because the Skype, I turned it on and my computer locked up. I had to restart it. Now I'm like... Right.
Skype's bugginess always drives me nuts. Now the thing is now I'm just using my little laptop computer and sitting in my car.
Right.
and it works fine, but literally the only thing on this computer right now is Skype.
Maybe that's the way to go. Just only have Skype on there, and then you won't have any issues.
Have a Skype. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can have a Skype dedicated life. It's true.
Speaking of Skypes and cell phones. Wait, speaking of Skype and cell phones, I don't know why I said Skypes.
Skypes.
This movie had a lot of cell phones in it, and it included an app that was pretty much a virus. See, wasn't that a nice segue?
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
Well, I got to say right off the top that I liked the nurse, the main girl. She had me in there with her.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, she did. And I thought that. I mean, there were some things that I kind of liked about this film. Let me just say that in general, I think that this film was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was like, under protest, I'm going to see the Countdown. I think I texted you that. I said, I'm going to go see Countdown.
However, there was silliness. There was a lot of silliness in it as it went.
There was a lot of there was a lot of flaws. But I overlooked them.
There was a biblical connection.
Yes.
That was just hilarious.
Oh, I rolled my eyes when they were like learning about this thing. I was like, oh god, here we go.
Oh god. And and the illustration that they had.
Yeah, the illustration. Well, I did like the guy that was the guy that was a demon expert. But
yeah, the demon expert, he was okay, but the explanation that he went, and then the illustrations of the explanation were like, oh my, really?
And I was like, how many years has this gone by? Nobody's ever thought to do something to somebody to break the curse. I mean, really?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's a little too simplistic for me.
But you have to admit that it was a pretty good execution of it at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I kind of actually like that part.
It was missing a group of people working together to overcome something, because like this was basically, she didn't have anybody with her until like she met that one guy.
Right, until he met that, and he died. By the way, he died off way too soon.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wanted his character to stick around.
I did too.
Bit. And because I thought that he brought in chemistry that the sister didn't have.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying too much here.
Maybe, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But I like the sister more at the end.
Well, I did appreciate the fact that they, so they didn't really develop him as much, because I think I actually appreciate how short the movie was. It didn't take 2.5 hours.
I always appreciate how short.
And I did like the sister too. It was at first I wasn't so sure about her character, but I mean she did really good with what she had. She didn't really have a big part.
yeah. Well, the thing is this was written for one person.
Yes.
And it's funny because I thought about the same thing. I thought, yeah, there isn't there isn't a group together with this, and I thought that the perfect for some reason when I thought about that, I thought about the I think it's a AT&T commercial right now with the guy with the chainsaw. And wait, let's run to those.
Yes.
Let's run to those chainsaws over there. How about the running car? Now, are you crazy? Are you crazy? I love that part.
Well,
but that was That was what I thought about. I thought, well, where's all the rest of where's everybody else?
I know. Well, I was thinking this was kind of like, so I really liked Final Destination, so I was thinking about that movie, and this had a lot of similarities, but this was kind of a little bit more like Happy Death Day, where you have one main character and she's going through this thing that she's trying to figure out.
Right. It was.
But it wasn't as good. It wasn't even as close to being as good as Happy Death Day.
Oh, yeah. No, it was not.
But if it had a group of people like Final Destination did, I think I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But
yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, I think a group going down one by one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were some good jump scares though. I mean, even if
Yeah, no, there was. It was creepy enough, and the way that people. I didn't quite understand what the rules were of getting killed.
Right. Well, I'm gonna dress myself up as Death, and I'm gonna just show up behind people. I think.
Yeah, right.
I enjoyed that to a point.
I don't know why you don't.
I think it'd be kind of a fun afternoon. I might do that.
I was gonna say,
it was overdone though, don't you think? The little kind of behind the over the shoulder type thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. The thing is that whatever that was supposed to be standing there looked like it was made out of paper mache.
I thought it was a guy looking for the Comic-Con. Like, which way is the Comic-Con?
Yeah. And you just see the skeletal hand come out and go to the left. Yeah. Turn left on Main Street. Yeah. It's funny you should bring up Happy Death Day. I just was partying and hanging out with the bad guy from Happy Death Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the last con I was at up in New Jersey, and he was just the nicest, most laid back human being I've ever seen. I mean, he said, he was one of those guys that doesn't sit in a chair. He somehow or other just folds until he becomes the chair. Becomes
part of the chair. Yes,
it's part of the chair. Yeah, it was really funny. And then we went to like the lounge. At this pretty swanky, old funky. Your 1970s view of swanky in Atlantic City. I swear to God, there were phones. Get this, there were telephones, wall-hung telephones right next to the toilet.
Wow.
I was like, I ain't touching that in a million years. Right? God, oh God. It was really weird. It was it's kind of funky, but we were in this place that was like done like a Persian tent, and all these flowing, and you kind of like go from room to room, and you just it just has a cloth in front, and you pull it sideways, and it's like everything is draped everywhere. Yeah. And to see this guy in that room was so funny because it was like there was the draping on the ceiling and the draping on the walls, and then he was draped over the draping that was on the sofa, and it was just really funny.
Oh, wow! I don't think I've ever draped myself over anything, but
yeah, the thing is, it's the only word for how that guy sat in a chair was draped. So anyway, back to this film. I kind of half enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I was the same way. I wasn't all there. I thought the deaths were kind of not creative at all, especially the first two.
Yeah, just been there, done that.
I mean, there wasn't any creativity, I guess, until towards the end. I think there was a little bit more creativity. But
yeah, and there was like also kind of a confusing relationship between what I mean, the thing with the car at the beginning and Law coming through and yeah, it kind of it wasn't concise. It wasn't it didn't clarify until the very end kind of what was going on. And the thing is and I think it only clarified it by changing the rules just enough for the end.
Right. Well, I like that they didn't try to explain it to, like exposition and all that stuff. They just kind of let it go.
Right. They did. Yeah, that's true. They did. I think that's just kind of becoming common because so many of these films are being made.
Yeah.
It's exposition has gone all the way. Well, haven't you seen the last 45 of these?
Right. Yes, exactly.
What would I possibly have to explain to you?
There's one thing I think that's also hurting movies that are these kind of movies. I think that the PG-13 is hurting because I think with the R rating it could be a lot more intense, I guess. Not even like just like intense with violence, and I think that's kind of affecting these movies. Like the Blumhouse stuff is just too, I don't know, milquetoast for me, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like if this was an R rating, it might have been more enjoyable for me, just because it would have been more violent and probably scarier. Maybe I don't know, but
yeah, it's possible. It did have that Blumhouse, the Blumhouse TV ethic was very strong in it. The force was strong. The Blumhouse force was strong in this one. It really
and like,
was.
to really, I mean, do teenagers? I mean, I don't know. I think there's a misconception that only teenagers will watch these movies, and I don't know.
Well,
and then do they really care if teenagers show up to an R-rated movie? You know what I mean?
I was on a podcast recently with Tisha Lehman, and she was of the opinion that there should just be more dick in film. I mean, she was like, "Oh yeah, well everybody's saying more tits, and she says, "I want to see a little bit more dick."
I mean, just overall, just more nudity, really, is what I'm saying. But
yeah, but I brought this up with Jeremy when he said, "Well, yeah, we're gonna have this great lesbian scene and with Vengeance," and I said, "Well, shouldn't we have equal time? Shouldn't we have like a gay scene?"
Sure. Or at least have the penis from Boogie Nights there.
Well, I mean, exactly. Hello. Think of the damage that thing could make. That could do.
I mean, have Jason peeing or something.
Don't think of that. I take that back. Don't think of that.
They could have had Jason peeing in the woods and then just had him turn around with that thing flopping around.
Well, that's exactly what she said. She said, even when you had Louis turning around, Louis could have turned around swinging a sausage.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't know.
Or maybe have Jason's be really small, and that's why he's pissed off at the world.
Yeah, that's true. Jason could be hung like a hamster. You don't know.
That's right.
Oh no. So,
rating wise,
I'm gonna probably take this one up to a 2.
I wrote down on my little notes. I said 2.2.
2.2. So there's a lot of 2s going on. So I wanted to bring something up. There's a film out now that I am going to be in. Not only the executive producer, but I'm going to be in it.
Ah, yes.
Up all night.
Yeah, I saw that on I think it was Facebook. When I was in between phones, I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I think you told me about that. I was like, "That sounds really awesome, actually."
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it is, I haven't talked to Jason about it yet because Jason is going to be the character Louis again, and I'm going to be a biker that's sitting right next to him. That's going to be just making facial. I'm not gonna say anything.
Right.
Jeremy Brown was like, so you can answer Jake and say, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I said, I'll sit there and just look at him from time to time. How about that? So that's going to be my job. I'm going to be teller or pen.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be pen.
The quiet
I'm going
one.
to be pen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be the quiet one. So, which would be really funny because it'd be pretty much a miracle for me to be quiet on a set.
Well, you're quiet when the film's rolling.
Yeah, well, I try to be occasionally. So that I think that's going to be funny. Are you going to join us in February?
Well, I don't want to invite myself anywhere. I mean,
I think it's probably a pretty much that kind of party anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, then I probably will.
Yeah,
I just need to know when it's happening.
I will. You know that I will have that information.
Yeah.
As soon as I can, but it's not gonna. It's only gonna be maybe two, maybe 3 days.
Do I need to bring any leaves with me?
Yes, of course, of course you do. Come on. There was something else that I was involved in that was pretty interesting. A friend of mine who was the DP on Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Roy Wagner.
Yes. Yeah, this is exciting.
Did you see? Did you see? I posted the some of the stills off the set.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh man, it was amazing. I was like, I'm not kidding. I saw a picture of it, and I thought, oh my god, I've never seen that particular picture behind the scenes. And the next thing I went is like, wow, that's incredibly clear. I've never seen that good of a picture from behind the scenes.
Oh, so it fooled you.
Yeah, it totally fooled me. Oh, that's what I'm working on.
It fooled the production designer. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. Maybe age comes with that a little bit.
Yeah, it's more than just probably, yeah.
Right.
So, anyway.
Well, those are two awesome projects. I'm excited about both of them, so.
Yeah, fun stuff. You know, that one will be up pretty soon, and I'm working on getting us a guest on our show here.
Whoa! Oh, that's going to be challenging with my technology right now.
That's right, technology. That's well, mine
my
too.
Head almost popped.
I'm running as low tech as I possibly can, and trying to get up from there. So
we should just have all three of us just record something, and then we'll see if it kind of fits. I'll edit it all together somehow.
Yeah. Okay. But I will let you know this week about that. So, other than that, things are going good. I'm here in Tennessee. My back is kind of recovering from putting in the windows, and I have lots of new projects to do on my new house. So, there you go.
I feel like we should have some like bluegrass music or something for you, and then
please on the way out.
He's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Maybe some, I don't know. I mean, I lived in Tennessee, so I know that the people like from other areas assume that there's only rednecks in Tennessee, and if you have an accent, you're assumed to be stupid, basically. So
yeah,
I don't know if you've run into that yet, but. Oh, you live in Tennessee? Oh, do you have like plumbing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I came to an area that has plumbing from an area that almost doesn't. So these people don't understand. There is no image out there of people from Eastern Washington. So
that's right. Well, people just assume that we're in Seattle.
Yeah, everybody does, right? Say, oh, it must be pretty out there. And go, no, not really. No.
Well, I grew up in Wyoming, and I remember going to Tennessee for high school, and I had people ask me stupid things like, did you ride a horse to school? And I'm like, yeah. Even though I didn't. I'd never ridden a horse. Like, I think I've ridden maybe one time, and then I was like, do you have cameras there? And I'm like, camera, what's that?
Yeah, don't those steal your soul?
Right. I did have some really fun answers for people. They were looked at me like they kind of believed me, but weren't really sure.
I'll work on my own Tennessee answers. I'll come up with a batch. Okay, man. So we good?
Yeah, I think this is It's gonna get
Yeah,
better.
let's say that to everybody. It's going to get better from here.
We've been saying that for 2 years, but I think at this point we're at a turning point.
It's about time. We got to get better.
It's going to get better. And
well, the thing is,
some of those 3,000 people that follow you on Facebook, maybe they'll actually follow our podcast. I don't know.
You never know. Okay, man. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.